There we go. You're on.
By comprehending the key aspects addressed in class, I was able to determine the many requirements of a proper QAT. Through that, I was able to relate my QAT topic to the units discussed within this semester. Through the act of relating caffeine consumption to the outcome act of the body's physical behavior, if caffeine changes the way your brain and your body work, it'll change how you behave. Therefore, it'll change your energy level. By this, I am able to acknowledge whether or not caffeine consumption affects the time in which one skates. Caffeine's main effect on one's body is to make you feel more awake and alert. I designed an experiment to target those reasons and to prove whether or not caffeine truly enhances one's energy level in the athletic department of skating. My experiment consisted of 2 female participants under the age of 17, both being 16 years old. I asked them both once at a time to skate a 200 feet distance on an ice surface without caffeine in their system. Then I asked them to consume the caffeine source of a small black Tim Hortons coffee. The caffeine source that was provided contained 100 milligrams of caffeine, which is enough to impact a teenager's energy level. Then they waited 45 minutes for the caffeine to be entirely consumed. And then I asked them to perform the skating of 200 feet on ice again. As those were complete, I was able to take the results of both times to acknowledge the difference with and without caffeine consumption.
Coffee is incredibly similar to adenosine in structure. The caffeine works its way through your bloodstream and into your brain, where it starts to compete and binds with adenosine receptors. But because it's not adenosine, the sleepiness effect isn't felt. Adenosine can no longer bind, meaning its calming properties are diminished, which is great for you when you're feeling tired.
Caffeine consumption should always be in its normal level, since too much caffeine can also have bad effects in your body.
Meaning if you're 70 kilograms, approximately 70 cups of coffee would kill you.
Here are some of the basic benefits of caffeine. Caffeine is said to be the fuel of energy. It is also believed that caffeine directly stimulates the muscles in the body to make the muscles more alert.
Here with competitor.com, and today I'd like to talk about the best performance enhancing supplement you're probably not using: caffeine. Now,
One thing I believe I could have done differently is to have both females and males play out the role of the experiment, and to have a larger number of participants to further increase the differences of the enhancement of the caffeine consumption. Another thing that I would have done differently is to provide different types of caffeine sources, such as energy drinks and pop. For example, sources such as pop and energy drinks could have had a larger impact. A third aspect to make my lab more effective would have been to create more acts to proving the enhancement of caffeine. For example, broadening the athletic sports measured such as swimming, running, shooting, and calculating the reaction time, etc. The purpose of my experiment was to determine whether or not 100 milligrams of caffeine consumption affects the time in which someone skates, thereby proving whether or not caffeine enhances one's overall energy level. As a result of the experiment, my hypothesis of 100 milligrams of caffeine is consumed and the time in which someone skates 200 feet will increase, was proven correct.
Hey Red Wing fans, I'm Ken Kell. Welcome to Coffee Talk, brought to you by Tim Hortons. And I'm proud to be with Red Wing goaltender Jimmy Howard. Jimmy, how do you feel about being the first guest on Coffee Talk?
Such an honor and privilege. I can't believe you chose me. Out of all the guys, it's this one, it ranks up there in my career.
And you and I were talking before we went on the air. Welcome to Coffee Talk, presented to you by Tim Hortons. I'm with Red Wings defenseman Jakob Kindl. And Jakob, good to have you here. My first question is, do you enjoy coffee?
I love it. I do. I drink this every morning. I make myself coffee to go every time I go to work, so I do like